Let me show you how to properly set up and use your Samsung Galaxy A17. So first, inside the box you'll get your phone, and also over here you have extra packaging where you also have your SIM ejector tool. Let's remove it as we will need it. Also inside the box you will receive a bunch of manuals here and also our Type-C charger. Unfortunately we actually do not get the power adapter, so you will need to get your own essentially. And we have the phone over here, and let's open it up. So I have already used it for some time, and generally I think this phone is absolutely excellent. Not only the build quality is absolutely awesome, also the camera performance is very decent. We get optical image stabilization, and then also basically the display also is absolutely awesome on this phone. So first let's explore. So as you see on this side we have our buttons and our power button here as well, which also acts as your fingerprint reader as well. On the top we have a microphone here. We have another microphone here, a Type-C charger port that you use to charge and also transfer data, and also your speaker over here. On this side we have the SIM card slot. So first let's maybe insert the SIM card and memory card. This phone actually can use two SIM cards at the same time, which is absolutely awesome. So you see, once you take out your SIM card tray over here, this is what it looks like. So, and it uses these tiniest nano SIM cards essentially. So to insert SIM card number one, essentially see, you have to basically take the SIM card and see where you have this like tiny triangle essentially, and position it like this. So for the SIM card number one, so you see how the tiny triangle is. And if you want to insert two SIM cards, then we can insert the second one over here in this position again. So you see where the tiny triangle is. But also if you want to use one SIM card plus one memory card, you can also do it. But okay, so to insert a memory card, see, we actually have to insert it in the same tray, basically where you have the SIM card. So you see, okay, and you can use pretty much any micro SD memory card in this phone, but at the same time we can either use only one memory card or also one SIM card essentially. So you can't use two SIM cards and plus one memory card at the same time. So, and once you have your SIM card inside here, let's insert it in our phone. So simply push it inside like this. And next we can turn on our phone. So to turn it on, simply press and hold this power button here for a few seconds, and you'll see the Samsung logo. So when it comes to charging this phone, we can charge it using Type-C. So you see you have Type-C cable over here, which is Type-C on both ends. So again, you will actually need to get your own adapter where we can charge, which is absolutely ridiculous. Also, obviously, we can also use a power bank as well to charge this phone, so if you are on the go. Okay, and once the phone boots up, you will get your language selection over here. So simply press this button and you will need to select the language on this phone. So simply select your language, whatever you have. So you see we actually have language for any country here. So for English, yep, let's select this first. Okay. And then agree to all this stuff here. You can also dismiss this. And in this screen you can also use your old phone to bring over your accounts, contacts and stuff like that, but you can also set it up manually, so if you don't want to use it. Then we are going to need to connect to a Wi-Fi network. So yep, to fully set this up, I suggest you to actually connect to a Wi-Fi network. So simply click on the network and enter your password here. Okay, let's click connect. Okay, to verify the Wi-Fi. You see it's connected, and we can press next. And this step will actually take a while, so simply wait a bit. Okay, you see you can also like copy apps, yeah, if you want to, or let's click don't copy. And next we need to log in on our Google account. So either log in your existing or also click create account here. So I'm going to log in. Then also we can choose to protect our phone using Face ID or also pattern, or you can also simply like skip this as well. Yep, also allow this. If you want to turn on your backup again, you can also do that. It will also ask you to select the default browser. And default search engine. Also, we can enable this Gemini here. So yep, let's turn it on. And next we also need to log in into our Samsung account. So again, this is actually needed. Either click with your Google or whatever you have. Choose your display mode. And we're almost done. I suggest you to click later. And once we are at this stage, your phone actually will still be installing some applications in the background and doing some housekeeping. I suggest you to actually leave your phone aside maybe for 20 minutes till you actually finish doing everything on it and setting everything up properly. Otherwise the phone will feel very slow. So this phone actually has got this new One A17. So you see, if you actually swipe from this right corner over here, I can quickly launch all my quick settings. For example, I can quickly launch my flashlight here. Also configure basically the brightness of the screen, and also like turn the volume up or down and various other things. And if I basically swipe from over here, so pretty much from anywhere here, I can quickly launch my notifications. So you see, we have completely new system on this one. But if you actually prefer the old one where both were together, so notifications, also settings, we can simply swipe from the right corner, click this pencil thing over here, panel settings, and click together. So you see, you can also switch back to the old system, which all previous Galaxy phones essentially had, and I actually much prefer this one. So on the bottom you see you have your navigation button, so your back button. So in any menu, if you press the back button, you will actually go back. And also our home button, if you at any time you press this button, essentially you will return to the home. And also these three lines, if we click them, we can actually switch between the all open apps on this phone. So you see just how insanely nice this is. And on this phone, if we swipe from the left side, see, you can also quickly access all your news, so you can quickly read some articles. Or also if you swipe like this, as you see, you can also like move to the next page of the apps. If you want to move the apps around, so simply literally press and hold, and then you have various options. You can either remove the app or also again press and hold, and then you can simply drag it around wherever you need. And if I swipe up basically from my screen, you see you can also get access to all applications I have installed. Also you have your folders here for different applications as well. For example, all the Samsung apps that are available here. Also we have our search here as well. Then for example, if you want to change the wallpaper on this phone, it's very easy. So simply press and hold on any blank space, click wallpapers and style here, change wallpapers, and then the trick is to simply swipe all the way down, and you'll see a button here to get more wallpapers. So I already clicked that, but again, so we're going to go over here. So you see you have it over here, get more wallpapers, and so this essentially is a theme shop for the wallpapers where you can download more. And the trick is to simply go over here in the top and simply search by all the free ones, and you see you have like several thousand different wallpapers you can actually download and install on this phone. Also, if you use a search, you can also search for any specific. So if you want to install something, simply click on it, click download, apply, choose if you want it on lock screen or home screen or on both. And also in the selection, you also get offered this choice. So for example, if you want to change the lock screen style for the clock, you can also, for example, click on that. Also maybe even change the size of it as needed as well. Okay, then you see you have all your new wallpaper here. And also if I lock it, you see also my lock screen, also this new also clock for the lock screen. And also this new system also has got some very nice widgets as well. So if I press and hold on any blank space again, press the widgets here, you see you have basically a bunch of suggestions. Again, this new system actually looks very nice on this. And also different categories here. So you see you can select from whatever you want. Also, for example, maybe let's set this weather widget here. So for example, this one, click add, and it will get added. So we can simply like maybe drag it here. And then you see you have your weather. For example, you can quickly tap it and you will be able to see your weather date here as well. By the way, if you want to download more applications on your phone, you can either use a regular Play Store where you can download applications and various games and stuff like that. You have your search over here, or also you can use a Samsung Galaxy Store as well, where we have a bunch of different games and applications available as well as a different amount of themes, so you can customize our phone in pretty much any way. Also, this phone gets this new Gemini Assistant as well. So if I press and hold this, so I can either like start asking some questions directly, or also check this if I press and hold again. And if I basically press that like button on the right thing, I can also open the Gemini Live. Hey, what's up?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Hey, can you tell me something about the Samsung A17?
The Samsung A17 is a solid mid-range phone. It's got a big, vibrant screen, a decent camera for everyday shots, and the battery life is
so
pretty
should I
impressive.
get the Samsung A17 or A16?
The A17 is a bit newer, so it's got a more up-to-date processor, which means it'll likely be a little faster and smoother. The camera's also a touch better, especially in low light. The A6...
So yeah, as you see, this new Gemini is absolutely awesome. So we can freely interact with it, and yeah, it will actually respond to you in real time essentially. Also, let me show you one more very useful feature on this phone. Essentially, maybe if you are browsing something and you want to look something up, maybe you want to understand what is this object or what is this watch, we can simply press and hold this like the home button for a couple seconds, and you will get this circle of search here. So we can simply like circle any object, and this AI essentially will research about the object and try to understand what it actually is and tell you everything about it. So it can be used in pretty much any way. So again, very useful, and this is again only available on this new A17, which is absolutely awesome. Also, I will also show you maybe some settings that you should definitely like change around if you actually want to get the best performance out of the phone. So we are simply going to our settings here, and first things first, so if you have dual SIM cards, I suggest you to actually go in the connections, SIM manager over here, and if you click over here, basically you can set your preferred SIM cards for the calls, messages, or mobile data as well. Then over here in the display settings, go over here, motion smoothness, and make sure to set this as high. So this phone actually gets 90 Hz like refresh display, which is incredibly smooth, but by default it's actually not enabled to save a bit more battery. So if you want to unlock the full performance of the display and make it super smooth, obviously make sure to go over there and enable this feature. So it obviously drains tiny bit more battery, but yeah, the phone feels very smoother with this one. Also, you see, you can also change basically the color punchiness of your screen. So you see, if you also like change around these settings here, you can also like increase basically how vivid your phone is, basically how punchy the colors actually are on this phone. And also white balance and stuff like that. Also, you can change your screen timeout here, and also over here in the navigation bar, also you can actually switch from the button like navigation to the swipe gesture navigation if you click over here. So again, these buttons will actually disappear, and you will have to interact with your phone by simply swiping it in various ways. Also, if I click more options over here, I can also swap around the order of the buttons here. So actually I prefer this way much better, where we have the back button over here. So let's enable that. Okay, and also next, also you should go probably in the battery here. And also you can set up your battery protection level here as well. So by default it's already enabled on the basic, but you can also like customize, because this basic actually isn't that good. So you can simply click on the maximum over here and simply adjust the level, for example, at which your phone will stop charging. I suggest you to maybe even like leave it 90%. So essentially what happens with the batteries in these phones, if you actually charge them up fully to 100%, it's actually not the best for the long-term battery durability. So most people suggest you to like charge up to like 80%, but you see on this new like One UI 7, we can also set a custom value here. So just as need, I think 90% is plenty already for like battery protection. Also, yeah, so it will also charge your phone to 90. I think this is most like practical thing. Over here also you can enable your fast charging as well if needed, and also we can also check our battery health here as well, and battery like cycle count, so essentially how much this phone has been used. Also I suggest you to go in the advanced features, and we can actually set up basically this side button for any action here. For example, so you see by default, if I actually double press, it will launch my camera. So let's try it. So you see my camera actually gets launched here, but so we can also customize it for any other action here as well. Okay, if I go back, so you see, if I press on the text over here, I can either select from any custom app or also maybe set like flashlight or any of these things here as well. For example, let's set it as flashlight. So, and if I double press, as you see, I can quickly launch the flashlight. Also, what's absolutely cool, we can actually change the brightness of the flashlight here as well. So simply swipe down and long press on your flashlight here. So you see, by default it's actually at the middle, but you can actually crank up the brightness. I think it becomes like even like 3 times brighter if you actually do it, and it will actually remember this setting. So again, obviously it will drain more battery, but again the flashlight will actually get way brighter if you actually do this. Also in the advanced features, if you also want to play games on this phone, also go over here in game booster settings and enable this performance mode for the gaming mode. Otherwise the performance actually will get actually slightly limited to like make this phone run cooler essentially. But again, so to unlock the full performance for games, make sure to go over here and enable it over here. Also this phone can also run dual messengers as well. Maybe you have WhatsApp, and if you want to install like a second copy of WhatsApp, we can simply go over here and select the apps. So if you have WhatsApp installed, it will become available here, and essentially it will allow us to install a second copy of WhatsApp, so you can use, for example, 2 accounts at the same time, and it works on other like social media and messenger apps as well. Then also in the device care over here, so if you click on the memory here, you can also enable this RAM plus function over here. So you see, if I click over here, you can select extra 4 GB of RAM. So by default, this phone either comes with 4, 6 or 8 GB of RAM. But if you go over here, enable this, this phone essentially will actually use the internal storage of your phone. So it will simply like reserve a tiny fraction of it and simply use it as extra RAM. So essentially on this 4 GB version, which I have over here, if I enable this function, I can essentially get 8 GB of RAM on this phone, and it will also make it run much smoother. So again, also in the device care section, you can also enable auto optimization. So essentially this phone will understand when you are actually not using it and auto restart itself to clear any cache and also like background junk that has been running on your phone. So, and will essentially speed it up. So it usually does this maybe like almost every night essentially when you're not using it. It simply like do about basic housekeeping that makes this phone like the fastest it can be essentially if you enable this function over here. So click over here to enable it if you need it. Also, if you're wondering how to use wired earphones or headphones on your Samsung A17, since it obviously doesn't have a headphone jack, then actually there is a very simple solution. We can simply get an adapter like this. So on AliExpress, this literally costs like $1 or $2. I'll leave a link where you can get it. It actually converts the Type-C to the 3.5 jack. So you see, if I actually plug it in over here, I can plug in my wired stuff here. So even though we do not get the headphone jack on this phone, we can actually still use wired earphones or headphones on this phone. Also, if you're wondering if this phone gets wireless charging, just like maybe on more expensive Samsung phones, then nope, I have some bad news. Where actually there is one cool way how we can actually charge this phone in emergency. So if you maybe can get access to another phone, we can actually share basically the battery juice between these phones. So for example, if I see inside basically in this phone, so simply connect both of them together, and you see actually, yeah, as you see, the phone actually starts to charge. So it's essentially taking a juice from this phone. So if you want to switch basically which phone basically is giving basically power, you can simply swipe down from your phone over here, and you will get this menu over here. And okay, so basically we have this option over here, charge connected device. So if I disable this, so you see actually my A17 is actually starting to charge this phone over here. So you see this is actually being charged. So yeah, how cool is that? And yeah, overall I think Samsung A17 is actually absolutely amazing this year. Not only the software is absolutely top class, so these top line features, but also when it comes to build quality, also for its price, I think it's absolutely superb. So not only it's very, very slim, also very good battery life, and also the overall look also is absolutely awesome on this thing. Also we get upgraded cameras as well. And yeah, also when it comes to performance for its price, you really can't actually get better phones than this one, especially with such nice display as this phone has. Yeah, overall absolutely amazing phone. Good luck.